Hello, beautiful souls. Here today again, making another video, helping us getting glowed up and woke. So, today I want to speak about the practice, the fundamental principle of listening and asking the right questions. So, when I first started my journey on the spiritual path, I really focused a lot on knowledge, like reading, acquiring knowledge, and thinking about it, and practices. Just meditating, fasting. And I thought that if I could just like acquire enough knowledge and practice enough, supernatural techniques that are meant to evolve my consciousness and raise my frequency and the vibrational energy of my beingness, of my system, that I could somehow raise myself to this divine consciousness, sublime, supreme oneness, sometimes called samadhi, nirvana, and that was definitely helpful. I don't regret the time I spent doing those practices, but it was a little bit like my ego trying to run the show, and sort of a lot of it was strengthening my ego. A lot of it was just giving my ego superiority, giving my ego something to feel cool about. And now as like the spiritual roots start to really take hold and maturation, like starting to mature, and by listening to some teachers and some hard lessons that I've experienced, I've learned, and I want to impart that it's a lot smoother. There is a much smoother path of grace that is, even in my experience, more effective. And I believe that the bottom line principle of it is listening rather than doing, and asking the right questions. For example, if you're in a state, or you're experiencing something that you don't enjoy, if you're in a pain, like somehow you're suffering, you're at work and everything's going the way you don't want it to go, and you're very upset, asking the right question in that situation would be something like, how am I creating this suffering in this moment right now? How am I generating the resistance which is creating the suffering that I experience? So a lot of the times the right question is the question that allows you to be empowered, recognizing your role and your place and your authority over how you feel and how you experience your reality, how you experience that which you have created with your past actions, deeds, and words. So in the past, we have experiences, and we react to those experiences with actions, words, and feelings that may actually generate more of the same experience in the future. And when that action, feeling, or word actually manifests and comes back around and shows itself again, we tend to forget that this is just a result of how I reacted in the past, rather than responding and having a moment of recognition. Meaning, I understand there's a oneness between the outside world and the inside world, and I understand that by recognizing what it is in me that I'm experiencing as an outer reality that I don't enjoy and that I don't appreciate and that I no longer want to experience, by recognizing the cause and effect relationship between your inner world and your outer experience, you begin to listen and surrender and allow the grace, the part of you, the woke being of you, which can see the bigger picture, which can see like, oh look, this is happening here. It's a result of what you did over here, and All you have to do is don't freak out this time around. Don't respond and don't give it the negative charge this time around. Be cool. Know that I am here with you. I am, as your higher self or your guardian angel or spirit is here with you, and the same amount of love, joy, and appreciation and approval that you've always had will always be there for you, regardless of how this event turns out. Having that recognition and that inner dialogue, and an intentional inner dialogue, which replaces the compulsive inner dialogue, which the compulsive mental chatter is just a reaction. It's a chain reaction of responses and picking up cultural narratives and just kind of running them through. So what we want is to begin to quiet that automatic compulsive thinking and begin to entrain a habit of listening rather than mentally speaking, mentally listening. And this really works well when you connect the mind to the heart. Simply by bringing your mental focus into your heart, you're creating this link and this bridge, and you're synchronizing and creating a cohesion, a coherence between the mind and the heart. And then you're able to really hold the stillness and broadcast like a broad signal, like an antenna, to receive and information, true love, bliss information from divine. And another word for divine just means that which is in alignment, in harmonious structure within itself and with that around it. The all-inclusive, all-loving Tao of life, or flow of life, if you will. And yeah, this listening practice works for so many things. It works for intuitive healing. It works for, when you think you're going with the flow. There's a lot of new agey spiritual concepts like go with the flow that conflict with other new agey spiritual concepts like don't do extreme drugs. So if you're going with the flow and all of a sudden people are doing drugs, you can sit there and get in your head about it, or you can listen in and see how you are meant to respond. Are you meant to stick around and learn something? Are you meant to maybe guide? Are you meant to leave? Are you meant to even partake? You never know when something is gonna be, when there's a greater picture perspective on something. You wouldn't know unless you take the moment to quiet the chatter mind and begin to listen and develop the practice of finding the right question, asking the right question, and then entering a stillness, empty space of receptivity to receive the guidance and receive the answers, and gradually increase the relationship between you and this guidance, which can be called your higher self or your true self or God, or the woke you guiding the sleepy you. Awakened me guides the sleepy me. I hope this was helpful, and I would love to continue speaking on this subject or any other subject that you have questions about. Please feel free to share, like, or comment. Any questions are always appreciated. Much love to you. Sign up.